Hey everyone, this is Ors. So, if you're watching this video, you either saw this
But while present to you the
and
16
wanted some more direction on what that meant, or you saw this and wanted to learn the sprint method used by the fastest, and to grasp at any hope of giving meaning to your, or staying RSI. Anyway, if that sounds like you, you've come to the right place. Welcome to my 6-3 guide. So, I'm going to try to cater to both people who are trying to learn some center while stacking before they learn tspins, as well as those of you trying to learn 6-3 to sprint faster. Either way, let's start with the basics. I'm going to refer to some stuff from my stacking video, so you might want to watch that first. Center while stacking is the foundation of basic tspins, and 6-3 is one of the most approachable forms of it. In 6-3 stacking, you build a 6-wide stack on the left side of your board, and a 3-wide stack on the right side. A little bit of a crazy naming, I know. But if you watch my stacking guide, you'll know that splitting your stack in two like this could actually limit your options if you want to stack cleanly, so a bit of guidance is usually necessary to get started. First, let's look at the 3 side, as people tend to have more trouble with this than the 6 side. You'll generally want to build 4x3 boxes using your L and J pieces. A lot of people know this LOJ box, but I see a lot of beginners only using this box shape and ignoring other 4x3s that are formed with the S and Z pieces as well. There are lots of other 3-wide box patterns that involve I and T pieces, but they're kinda situational. You should just try to avoid placing T pieces on the 3 side especially, unless you definitely know you have a T piece to resolve it shortly. Once we put this here, we cannot return to our box patterns until we place another T. In the same vein, keeping track of spiky shapes is generally what people will have trouble with on the 6 side as well. Really focus on cleaning up stair and spiky looking shapes with your T pieces. Let's run through an example. What do we do here? So, we might be tempted to make the easy LOJ box here, but notice that we actually have a really good spot in our 6 stack for this O piece. So instead, I'm going to plan to make this LZJ box instead. Use our O to flatten our 6 stack, and resolve the stairs on the left with a T. Finally, we just take the Tetris. A cool thing to note here is that we were able to instantly pre-plan 3 pieces on our queue because we knew we were going to make that box shape. Latching onto these patterns makes our decision way simpler. That might come up later. But yeah, that's pretty much the rundown to get started with 6-3. If you're doing this to get started with T-spins, just try and keep your 6 and 3 stacks as even as you can, and just clear Tetrises. If your stacks happen to be exactly even, you can even make a shape I like to call a chipped tooth, which is just removing an L or J from your 4x3 box to set up a T-spin and keep your stacks clean. Rotate your T into the slot, hit hard drop, and
T-spin double.
I'll go over T-spins in more detail in another guide, so stay tuned, but that's all for now. Getting comfortable with this is going to really give you a head start when you start trying to add T-spins to your game, so go have fun practicing. Okay, are they gone? Alright, I know what you're here for. You know the truth. Verse and T-spins? Garbage. That's not going to impress the lay people. We don't want a downstack, we don't want a T-spin, we just want to play fast, abuse our $100 keyboards, and woo our romantic interests with our sprint PBs. And 6-3 is gonna get us there. What makes it so good? The first reason is key press efficiency, measured in the amount of keys you press to place one piece, or KPP. 2-step finesse allows us to place most pieces with 2 key presses plus the hard drop, so the average player that knows finesse should get around 3 KPP. However, almost all the top sprinters that use 6-3 are well below this. Just inherently by where you put the pieces, it'll generally allow you to avoid placements that require more than 3 key presses. More actionably though, because we place our pieces next to both edges of the matrix, we can more often preserve DAS by holding down the direction key, skipping the charge up window and saving a key press. This optimization is key, especially in tuning limit games where you can't make your dash shorter, making 6-3 basically mandatory if you want a fast time. So that theory's all well and good, but Ritteru can get 2.5 kpp with 9-0. What's the point? Well, first, Ritteru is a god, and you'll never be like him, but here is the second and arguably more important reason why 6-3 is good, especially in unlimited tuning games. Mindless, brain-dead patterns. You'll often see 6-3 sprints start with this opener. While the box shape is to be expected, the key shape is actually here. According to my own stacking video, this spiky shape is going to stay spiky until we put another T onto it, so we should want to resolve it with another T. But no, my advice is garbage, and you should go dislike my stacking video and unsubscribe from my channel. We're going to take advantage of this preserved spikiness. We can just spam the S and Z pieces on top of it. We can also flip whether a spiky section takes an S or a Z piece by placing another T piece on it. So placing 2 of any upcoming T pieces will maintain our ability to just keep spamming pretty much anything spiky or squiggly onto this little 4-wide section. It's then pretty straightforward to fill in the 2-wide part of the 6 stack with a variety of 2-wide shapes and continue doing our boxes on the 3 side. So why does this work? Keeping our stack flat and flexible is good in something like Versus, where we need to stack to prepare for garbage and tspins, but the more options we have, the more our brain is going to have to work to figure out what to do. Doing our best to keep our stack towards these very repeatable patterns significantly reduces the number of options we have, and in turn, the number of options we have to consider. This, I argue, is the main benefit of 6-3 sprint in unlimited tuning games. Also, even if we end up in a corner because of this inflexible stack, we can always just restart. Behind every sub 20 sprinter is a worn out F4 key. The world record holder's name is literally reset. And obviously, you shouldn't 100% follow the pattern all the time if you don't immediately see the way to do so, and it's not the most optimal thing to do, especially if you have to hold a bunch. As you get better with 6-3, you'll learn how to stack out of this pattern, how to get back into it, and some more efficient placements and patterns as you go along. But take a look at any of the top 6-3 sprints and you will see this come up. Finally, there are actually a lot of impressive DAS optimization techniques and more situational stacking patterns that will further help reduce your KVP and improve your 6-3 sprint time, but I think those are beyond the scope of this video. But I'll list some of the easiest ones that I think are the most bang for your buck. First, you should favor box shapes that allow you to DAS press throughout them, such as the following. You should avoid double tap placements like this O. You should avoid hold spam, especially in tuning limit games where there's piece spawn delay. I've noticed that holds tend to occur in chains for people who spam it, so you should try to get out of the habit of viewing hold as an additional preview piece and more as a last resort. Look for no hold solutions if you can. It's kind of fuzzy how many holds is good or bad, especially in unlimited tuning games, but you definitely shouldn't be holding more than like 40 times a sprint. Aside from that, looking at any of the top 6-3 sprints should give you some more ideas on what kind of patterns and optimizations exist past this level. Notably Yisen, or Xia as he's better known, who's made his name by making 6-3 look like mech TSD. So good luck, and make sure to take breaks to stretch and rest your hands. Now, if you don't mind,